Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Rock Sound. Now we're a couple of weeks away from Reading and Leeds Festival. By the time you guys are seeing this, Biffy Clyro will be about to take on the main stage. I'm delighted to say we've got James from the band on the line right now. How are you, man?
I'm really well, James. Nice to speak to you, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting excited. Your description there. So we're about to walk on stage in 2 minutes' time. Is that what you're saying?
That's what about. I think, you just left one of those little porta cabins. You're en route. Yeah, you're just getting warmed up a little bit. Hear the intro music, that kind of thing.
That little walk that you just described is such a strange feeling.
I bet.
You're walking with your gang. You're with your guys. You're looking good. You got your clothes all sorted, and you feel invincible in a way. But you also feel really incredibly vulnerable, and your heart's going like the clappers, and it's really, really nerve-wracking. But what a great feeling! It feels like I know this sounds a bit silly, but you feel like an army. You really do. You feel that you're going to war, and there's just something really exciting. I can't wait for that feeling. I cannot wait.
Man, we are sort of in this kind of calm before the storm now, aren't we? Because like everyone else, you had to put pause on that live tour. And the fact is, you guys, you are such a prolific live band. It feels like you're always out on the road, always trying new things in some way. Even, years where you didn't have a record out, you're still like, well, let's do a few dates here and there. You really, really do love living on the road. Must be kind of surreal to have waited this long, I suppose, before you get back up on that stage.
It's really strange. It's strange on so many levels. It's strange for the band not playing music. We were like, what did we do? We were really struggling. We ended up going to make another album, which we'll probably talk about in a minute. But also on a personal level, it's so much a part of who we are being in this band. It's everything that it almost feels, and I'll say this quietly in case anybody else in the house hears it, but it almost feels like other aspects of your life take a bit of a back seat for the band's sake. We're so dedicated to this. And to suddenly, as a man of 40 years old, to be at home for a year and a half, we've never been at home this long. So on a personal level, it's a bit of an existential crisis. It's like, who am I? What am I doing? And as a band, we've just kind of found other ways to keep busy. You never really plug that gap. You never fill the hole. You're never really able to replace that feeling of playing in front of people. But we did our best with live streams and keeping busy, and it's been a strange old time.
Yeah, I do want to mention that live stream briefly, actually, since you brought it up there, because we had a little chat with Simon, and I think it was like a couple of days before you actually recording it over at Barrowlands in Glasgow. And he said, I think the rough quote was something to the effect of, don't want to jinx it, might end up being one of the best things we've ever done. Now it's in the rear view. Do you back that statement? Do you think it's one of the best things there?
I do, and I say it with as much modesty as possible.
Sure.
But I do think it was one of the best things we've ever done. I think the way we were able to take advantage of the fact that there were no audience there and use the space of that room. Anyone who's not been to Glasgow Barrowlands, it's a really world famous room for a reason. It's just got an atmosphere when you walk in. So even when it's empty, there's something about it. You can kind of feel the history of all the feet on that dance floor over the decades. And so I think sometimes with a live stream, it's like stick a camera where the audience would be, film the band, that's it. And that's okay, there's nothing wrong with that. But we really wanted to try and take people on a little bit of a journey. And I think we managed to do that. Really proud of it. Hopefully we'll be able to get that available on some sort of TV or something like that. Yeah. I know a lot of people have been crying out for that, so hopefully we can figure something out with that.
No, it was such an incredible event. I really loved bands like yourselves. There was a few of them out there who really took advantage, like you say, to do something that was unique like that, where it almost benefited from being watched at home in that way. It would have been great to be in the room, but it really felt kind of cinematic, which was cool. But that does beg the question now that we're back to real live shows, how's it been not approaching it like that, getting back in rehearsals? Did it take a minute to blow the cobwebs away a little bit or not?
Sure, it sure did. it did. I don't want to dwell on that too much because it will affect my confidence, but for a split second there, it was like, oh my God, this has been a long time off. It was like, what do I do? It was more trying to make the equipment work. Couldn't remember how to plug anything in. Couldn't remember how to switch anything on. It was a bit of a challenge. But no, I have to say, again, I say this as modestly as possible, but stood in the practice room last week, just, I don't know what song we were playing, but we just got to a moment and I just looked around at everyone playing and I was like, you guys are fucking awesome. This is like, what a band. You know, I wasn't really including myself in that. I was just looking at the boys and being like, this just feels so right, James. You know, we've missed this. There's that kind of energy between us all playing together, and I can't wait for people to enjoy it with us.
Well, the lovely thing that's going to happen now with not just with Reading Leeds, but with all these shows is that the album's been out there for a minute. Congratulations again on that, by the way. And like people have not only reacted so well to it, but they're familiar with it in a way that if you were touring just off the back of an album that's just come out, people might still be getting used to some of those songs. It kind of feels like a lot of these songs from that last record are already going to be classics in the set to a lot of fans, which is interesting, really.
Well, that's a nice comment to hear, because we've been quite... We don't really have that in our heads. It's still like a new album, and these are songs that are unproven live. You've never played them live. You've never played them in front of an audience. And we don't make that leap to think, well, they'll love it. It's going to be awesome. We're still a little bit kind of glass half empty kind of thing. So hopefully you're right, man. hopefully they play these songs and people are like, yep, classic, instant classic. But it's been fun trying to build a set list, you know, having a new album out that, you know, like I said, we've never played live. And it's been fun trying to choose, trying to whittle it down to a manageable time frame has been really pretty tough.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, are there any moments on that last record that have already stood out and gone like, oh, this is the one I want to see in front of a live? I mean, I'm sure all of them, but are there any particular moments you think are going to particularly bang?
There's definitely a couple. I think the last song on the record, Cop Syrup, is one that we intend to play it, you know.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how people take it. For people who don't know, it's like a punk rock song with a massive big orchestral section, if you like, in the middle. Then it goes back into a punk rock song at the end, and it takes you in a real journey, that song. That's what I'm looking forward to, even if it's just to see your confused faces. What is happening? What are you guys doing? That's going to be a lot of fun.
Going to very much enjoy seeing you on the main stage at a festival shouting "Fuck everybody, woo!" is going to be a lovely, lovely reaction.
It feels appropriate.
It really does. After this year, it feels very, very appropriate. I think that works. Well, I want to mention as well just the festival in general, because of course this is your third time headlining Reading and Leeds now. Obviously it was kind of unexpected this year, but very welcome addition to the lineup. Do you have much memories in the way of playing along those lineups and any previous headlining appearances at that particular festival?
When I kind of assumed you might ask me about memories of the festival, and the first ones that come back are the earlier years, to be perfectly honest. Travelling down from Glasgow overnight in a van, too excited to sleep, too nervous to eat. I remember Ben being sick, walking on stage at our second ever festival. He said it was diesel fumes, whatever, you know, take that as you will, but I think he was maybe just really nervous. Memories of partying after shows in dressing rooms that were like a foot deep in water. I remember one year we partied and we're partying with Manny from Primal Scream. Load of racket, loads of noise, it's kicking off, and Bobby Gillespie comes in, looks at the state of the scene and just shakes his head and walks away. So yeah, I think, you know, if your party's too grimy for Bobby Gillespie, you're definitely doing something right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember another one when we were, this sounds terrible, drink responsibly, kids, but another time we were partying after our show. We were probably on at like 3 PM. So by the time the headliners Metallica came on, we were all ruined. And I remember somebody was asleep on the sofa, and we were in the porter cabin right behind the main stage, right by the speakers, and it was just Metallica kicked up. Somebody was awake, like, what is going on? Like a rising from the ashes. It was fun. But my memories of playing the shows are that people really like their music. I know that sounds like a kind of weird thing to say, but it's a music festival where people go for the bands and for the music, and it's maybe a little bit less of a Instagram or people are going to take pictures and they think it's cool. I think it's sort of And I'm not dissing other festivals when I say that. I just feel like it's true music fans that go to Leeds and Reading, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. I think if you can test yourself and prove yourself in front of an audience like that, then you can pretty much do it anywhere.
Yeah, very, very true, man. No, it's going to be very, very exciting to see that kind of all come back together. And speaking of music fans and everything, man, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. I know you guys have been hinting a while. There's a new Biffy record on the way. It's coming. And I don't know how much you're allowed to say or even want to say, but
they're going to cut my fingers and toes off if I tell you.
The screen's suddenly going to go dead in a second. I can feel it. It's going.
A man in black's going to dressed. He's going to come in through that door and take me away. But no, we did. So we released a celebration of endings last year, as you talked about, and it's been the same for every other band. The tours kept getting moved. We didn't know what we were going to do. We always had plans to make a companion record or a sister record, and that's something we've done in the past. But so we were just like, usually we go to the west coast of America to record. That wasn't an option. So we stayed in the west coast of Scotland and did it on our farm and did it ourselves. And what an experience it was. After all these years of deliberately going away, to do it at home was really, really special. I think doing it ourselves as well taught us quite a lot. It felt like there were no adults around. Like it was just us in the farm having fun, trying to make each other laugh. And I guess the album developed as we went, and it's almost become like a standalone album. There's definitely some relationship to a celebration of endings. A lot of the themes carry on, and a lot of times it's a different look at the same sort of idea, maybe looking at a facet of life from a different point of view. But we're really buzzing on it. I can't tell you the title. I can't tell you when it comes out. I can't tell you any of the song titles. But we're, as always, we're really buzzing. Really, really buzzing. I'm not sure when it comes out, but hopefully people are a little bit patient.
Oh, it's an exciting time, man, though. Always exciting to know when there's some new Biffy music on the way, whenever that may arrive, and we'll find out at some point. James, I'll leave you with this, man, because something I just noticed coming up, I guess, next year. I don't know if you guys have been thinking about it at all or even bothered with these sort of, milestones and anniversaries and stuff, but we're looking at 20 years, aren't we? We're looking at 20 years since the debut, I believe, next year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Blackened Sky, I believe, was 2002. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it does. It's been mentioned before. We've talked about it a little bit. I think we'll do something to mark it in some way. The problem is if you do that, then the 20th anniversary of the second album comes the year after, and then it's the year after, and eventually you just become a band that's stuck in nostalgia and looking back. So we find that's a fine balance. But we do want to acknowledge that it's crazy that amount of time has passed. It really is. We've probably got fans that are a lot younger than our first album, which is kind of mental to think about that. But no, buzzing. Nice of you to mention it. At least it got noticed.
Always got to acknowledge these moments. It's very nice. I don't mean to make anyone feel old, least of all myself, but it is very nice to look back on those moments. It's all
Absolutely.
Good, man.
No, it's nice to look back as long as that's not all you're doing.
Sure.
I think, and it's different for every band. It's different for every person, but that's how we feel. Is we can look back for a minute, but as long as we're still moving forward, then we're all right with that.
Good attitude to have right there. James, it's always so nice to chat to you, man. Best of luck with these shows. I will be somewhere down the front at this exact moment in time when you're seeing this, cheering along, and probably with several pints in hand. It's going to be fantastic, man. Congrats on everything. And yeah, just, have fun getting back on the road again, man.
Thanks, James. Really nice talking to you. I hope you enjoy Reading and you stay safe. And to anyone watching at home, do the same. Enjoy it. Stay safe. Wherever you are, stay safe. It's really important. So lots of love to you all.
Very well said. All right, James, everybody.